RedMaster here, and welcome back to another Cards and Castles video. Today we have some interesting news for the future of Cards and Castles ranking system. It was made a little under a day ago in a Reddit post that ranking and the ladder will receive a huge revamp. Just wow. Quite interesting to hear that now the system that we've been working with for a while is going to get changed. And judging by this post, there are definitely going to be some heavy changes over on how we play ranking or how we play competitive. So they open up the post. We are excited to announce an upcoming revamp of the game's ranking system with the new Deck Ranks feature. Deck Ranks will allow players much more flexibility in approaching the ranking system in ways they see fit and mitigate many of the confusing aspects of the current star collection system. Very interesting. So by doing this, their plan is to, lower confusion and create more diversity and inspire creativity when making decks. I think that's a very cool way of doing it. Deck ranks are definitely something that we haven't seen yet in Cards and Castles, and excited to see how they factor in. But we're just going to jump into and see how they work, seeing how as they were illustrated further down the post. So the bullet point, the first one we open up with, players no longer have a single rank. Instead, each of their decks has its own rank, and with the goal being to advance the deck to the highest rank possible. So no longer do players have, I guess, an individual rank, so you're not going to be like a 3,000 star player. Your deck's going to be a 3,000 star deck. Your deck's going to be like a 2,000 star. You're taking into the account that it's going to be more focused on the decks rather than the player. Of course, with the goal, as always, being to probably bring that deck up to about 3,000 stars. No word on if there's any cap or anything like there isn't right now for the current ladder. But a great feature for deck ranks. Just seeing already, they look pretty good. Each time a player creates a deck, it must go through placement matches. Matchmaking algorithms will put players against skill-appropriate opponents to test the new deck's potential. After 10 matches, the deck will be assigned a rank and star count between 1 and 3,000. So you're going to have to play placement matches, which is pretty cool. It definitely lowers competitiveness in ladder. With the 10 placement matches, you can use those 10 placement matches to maybe fulfill a quest deck, or possibly just testing out a new idea. If you think that your deck is maybe like a first draft or something, you can always make a new one. Judging how the placement matches go for your first draft, it's pretty interesting, and I think one that's going to inspire a lot more creativity in the current ladder system. And of course, that reward of possibly going to 3,000 stars immediately just by the placement matches is huge. It saves a ton of work for a deck, and it's probably going to inspire some people to just make the 3K deck and try to go undefeated in the placement matches. Next bullet point we move on to, players can modify individual decks at any time without altering their rank. So, of course, you're allowed to edit your deck freely without worry of the rank being altered. As they play matches, the deck's rank will increase or decrease based upon how the rankings of the opponents they're able to defeat. So I think that one got a little lost in the wording there in terms of what they're trying to say here. But I think what they're trying to say, regardless, is that as you play the matches, it's going to be based on, the skill level of you, your opponent's deck, that determine the ranking of your deck. And if you win or lose that match that you're in, maybe, it's going to, affect the overall, placement of the deck in the ranking system, which I think is very good. So from there, we move on to the next bullet point. Players can, whoops, I read that point already. Whoopsies. To avoid many exploits, players no longer receive rewards when earning a new rank. End of season rewards have been improved and are now the core reward for the focus. Core reward focus for the system. Confused that one a bit in the wording. So, it seems like we're not going to get rank packs every time we rank up a deck. It's going to be primarily for the end of the season. And we'll get into the end of the season rewards pretty soon. But very good catch to avoid exploitation. Very good, I guess, way to give players motivation to play to the end of the season rather than, getting 3,000 stars, getting the, however many rank packs they get between their starting rank in 3,000 and then call it a season. It's all going to be based on the end of the season. So with that being said, we move down into the end of the season notes. There's 3 things to note here. Seasons will end every month except for the first season of deck ranks will extend through October. I feel like that's just like a news point that they're trying to say, like, oh, we're extending the first season to the end of October. So good little tidbit to know there before people start freaking out about, oh, missing, longer seasons and stuff like that. But however, when a season ends, players receive a reward pack of shiny cards and CP that both content, scales based on the highest deck rank they achieved during that season. Another catch on the exploitations there on the devs' part, they're not going to look into every match that you do with every deck. It's only going to be into I think I may have worded that wrong. The end of the season will only give rewards based on your highest deck rank. So you can't have 2 decks of weird rankings, or maybe like 5 decks and receive 5 different packs. That's not how it works here. So again, another cool catch, and those rewards, I'm getting pretty excited to see how those will come into play later on. And finally, the point here to note, also when the season ends, all currently ranked decks will be reset and require 5 placement matches to earn a rank again. So not going through the whole 10 process with one deck. If you are starting a new deck, it's going to be requiring 10. However, for a reset deck, it's only going to require maybe 5. It's going to require 5. I don't know why I said maybe. But I think that's a cool way to, reset the deck rather than just maybe throwing around its rank all over the place. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire post. Again, I'll link it if you want to read it. Very good stuff in terms of the future. I am very excited to see how this will change over the course of the coming months for the game, how we play the ladder, how ladder is affected, all that good stuff. But one thing to note here, just as the final, I guess, note in the comments of that post, one very interesting question caught my attention. Will the deck's rank in the previous season have any influence on a starting rank in the following season, or will it solely be based on the 5 placement matches? They did get a response to this one. Placement matches alone are not enough data for an accurate rank. They work by combining data with deck and player history for an accurate placement. So that's cool. They are taking into account, again, reinforcing player history as a factor in this. So, yeah, overall, very good, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. I do think it's going to be weird for the first couple of months, maybe even... Yeah, maybe like the first 2 or 3, I'm going to say, just learning the new system and all that. But I think when it works out, people are going to be very excited. With that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to give it this video a like, share with your friends, and comment about what you thought of the deck rank changes. If you are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe, join the Discord, and use code RedMaster to say I get you 5 free packs within Cards and Castles. So, with that being said, guys, until next video, stay gaming.